I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about self-government, about parenting, and about how families can create an environment where their home is much more happy and productive, which includes sleep. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to get your kid to go to bed. Many people want to know how to get kids to go to bed, and in this video I'm going to share with you what I did raising my 4 children and raising foster children also. And I'm going to share with you a great game that makes learning to go to bed a lot of fun. I answer questions all the time on my teaching self-government support groups and things like that, and people are constantly asking about bedtime, because if there is one thing that gives a child anxiety more than anything else, it's the phrase, "It's time for bed." But I know that it doesn't have to give children anxiety to hear that phrase, especially if you do the right amount of pre-teaching. What is pre-teaching? Pre-teaching is a parenting style that a parent uses to teach their child what they need to do to find success before a problem ever occurs. So just expect that most children don't want to go to bed. I know there's a few who do like bedtime, but that's definitely more of the rare case. So expect that it's very likely your child will not want to go to bed. In fact, maybe you're experiencing a child that doesn't want to go to bed right now. Well, let me tell you what type of pre-teaching I've done in the past to help my children decide that bedtime was okay and even kind of fun. In order to teach a person self-government, there needs to be an environment where they get the opportunity to learn cause and effect. So what this means is that you teach a person a skill. If they don't use the skill, then you would correct the person so that they get the opportunity to remember what skill they should be using, and then maybe even practice using it the right way at that point. But also you praise them and show them good things when they are using the skill that you've taught them in the right way. This teaches them to self-analyze, and that is one of the key foundational elements for a person who is trying to learn self-government. So when I pre-teach my children, I pre-teach them what skill they need, which is the skill following instructions. I also teach them how I will correct it if they don't follow instructions, and how I will praise it if they do. So let's talk about the pre-teaching. There are fun ways to pre-teach children how to go to bed. In fact, there's fun ways to pre-teach anything. You should always be pre-teaching your children every skill that you want them to know, whether it's how to do the dishes or how to go to bed. Yes, you can teach a person how to go to bed. The key thing for pre-teaching this skill is to do it at a time when it is not bedtime. So in the middle of the day, you say, let's play a fun game. In this fun game, we're going to learn a skill. The skill is called how to go to bed. And every time we practice the skill, we're going to earn a treat. So maybe you've got some little fruit snacks or some sort of fun treat that you can use during this time. Now have something that has many treats so that they can have one treat each time they practice the skill. By the end of the little bag of fruit snacks, then probably they will have learned the skill for how to go to bed. So this is how you play the game. You tell your child that when you say it's time for bed, then everybody's going to say, okay, and they are going to run off to their bed, get in the bed, and wait for you to come. So then you come, get them in bed, you tuck them in, tell them they did a great job and praise them, maybe give them a high five, and then tell them you'll be back in the morning. But tell them you're really not going to wait all the way till morning. You're just going to go outside of their room for just a minute, and then you'll come right back and say, it's morning, it's time to wake up. So then you walk outside their room and you come back in and say, it's morning, it's time to wake up. You did such a great job at going to bed. You looked at me, you kept a calm face, voice, and body. You said, okay, and you ran off to your bed. Then I tucked you in and you slept for the whole night. Since you chose to do that, you have earned a treat. So then you are going to give them a treat right then. Say, now let's practice again. again. In fact, you might want to be adding certain things that they do right before bed. If they brush their teeth right before bed, during this game, they might brush their teeth a few times. Or if they say prayer right before bed, then they might be saying a few little prayers, and that's okay. Now, some parents have their children do all of their night routine, like brushing teeth and getting dressed in their pajamas and stuff, long before it's actually time to say it's time for bed. Usually they read stories, stuff like that, as part of their nighttime routine. So if you're going to do your nighttime routine and then say it's time for bed, then you only have to say it's time for bed and the child goes to the bed. You don't have to do all of those other things as part of the game. I'm not done telling you about the game yet. There's an after part to it, but before I get to that, if you're liking this game, give this video a thumbs up. So every time you practice the "it's time for bed" skill, be sure to praise and let them have the treat that they earned. Then after you're done with that whole bag of fruit snacks or whatever it is that you're using for those little treats, then you declare to your child, you have learned this skill. You know how to go to bed. Tonight, when I say it's time for bed, then you are going to run to your bed and I will come and tuck you in and give you a kiss, and then you will stay until morning. In the morning, the real morning, Mom will come in and wake you up, and I will tell you what a great job you did, give you a high five, and then I will give you a whole bag of these fruit snacks that you can have. Now, you're going to give them a treat every morning for like maybe 2 weeks until they master the skill. So let them know, say, just for a little while we're learning to really master this skill, then I will have a treat for you every morning. That is exciting. That means they need to stay in their bed. Not only do they go to bed, but they've got to stay in their bed. Now, be sure to prepare them for if they don't stay in their bed after you tell them it's time for bed. If they get out, then you will need to correct them. I'm not going to go through all of the steps for how to do a proper correction right now. I teach all that stuff on my website with my Teaching Self-Government Parenting course. You can learn all that kind of stuff there, but you will want to do a correction and give them the opportunity to accept a negative consequence so that they do learn self-government and overcome that tendency, that craving or anxiety that makes them want to get out of the bed even after they did so good at getting in the first place. After you've taught your child this skill, be sure to check up on how they're doing regularly. So every morning, keep praising them. After the 2-week period and they don't get the snacks anymore, continue to praise them every morning. Follow up on their progress. And if you're having family meetings like we do in the Teaching Self-Government Parenting style, then you'll want to check up on how you're doing on bedtime in your family meetings as well. In fact, the more you can praise the good behavior, the more of that good behavior that you will see. It's just natural cause and effect. If you've enjoyed this video, I have a special class that I want to give to you for free. This class is called The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success. Click on the link to that class now and you will be able to learn more things that your family can use to increase your happiness and stop falling into some of the emotional traps that you might be having on a daily basis that make life kind of hard for everybody.